You never learned how to ask for comfort, so you learned how to disappear instead. And you still call that strength. There is a particular kind of silence that lives inside people who grew up without comfort. Not the silence of peace. The silence of a child who learned very early that crying did not bring anyone closer. Maybe nobody yelled at you. Maybe nobody hit you. Maybe your childhood looked from the outside completely fine. But somewhere in there, when you were hurting, nobody sat down next to you. Nobody said, "This makes sense. I am here." And so you adapted. You became independent, convenient, easy to manage, the kind of child who stopped asking, because asking never worked. Here's the part almost nobody says out loud. Being praised for being low maintenance as a child is often the first sign that comfort was missing. If you were the calm one, the strong one, the one who never made a scene, ask yourself honestly, who taught you that your pain was inconvenient? That question alone will make some of you uncomfortable, and that is exactly the point. Because this is not really a video about childhood. This is a video about why you struggle to receive love now, why silence from someone you care about feels like danger, and why comfort, real comfort, still feels like something you have to earn instead of something you deserve. And underneath all of that sits a deeper pattern, one we will come back to, one that most people never realize is even running their adult life. If nobody taught you how to be comforted, you did not simply grow up without that skill. You grew up building a different one instead. You built self-sufficiency as a wall, not as a strength. You learned to soothe yourself in private, quietly, quickly, before anyone could see you needed anything at all. And what looks like maturity from the outside is often just a very well-trained nervous system that stopped expecting help a long time ago. This shows up everywhere in adulthood, in ways that rarely get connected back to their source. You apologize for having needs. You minimize your own pain before anyone else can minimize it for you. You say "I am fine" so fast that people never even get the chance to ask twice. You feel almost embarrassed when someone is kind to you, because kindness feels unfamiliar, and unfamiliar things feel unsafe. You give comfort effortlessly to everyone else, yet somehow you never learned the return version of that skill. And here is the internal conflict most people carry without naming it. Part of you wants closeness, wants someone to notice when you are struggling, wants to be held emotionally without having to explain why. But another part of you, the older, more protective part, does not trust it. That part expects disappointment. That part would rather stay guarded and safe than open and exposed. This is not weakness. This is not something broken in you. This is a very intelligent adaptation to an environment that once taught to you comfort was not reliably available. If any of this feels uncomfortably familiar, that reaction itself is information, not an accident. Here is the part that actually changes something. This channel exists to turn moments like this one into something usable. So if this is starting to click for you, subscribing simply means you will not miss the part that turns understanding into an actual shift. The deeper reason this pattern is so hard to break is not emotional, it is neurological. A child who is not comforted does not simply miss out on affection. Their nervous system never fully learns what safety feels like in connection with another person. So as an adult, closeness itself can register as tension, even when the person offering it is safe, even when the moment is good. That is why some of you sabotage relationships that are actually healthy, not because you do not want them, because calm and steady love feels foreign, almost suspicious, compared to the vigilance you grew up needing. This is also why self-soothing alone is not the full answer, even though it is often praised as one. You do not just need to comfort yourself better. You need to slowly relearn that receiving comfort from someone else will not cost you your safety. That is a completely different skill, and it can be built gently in small doses, starting with tiny moments of letting someone see you struggle without immediately performing that you are fine. It starts small. Letting a friend finish asking how you really are instead of redirecting the question. letting a partner comfort you without following it up with an apology for needing it, naming what you feel instead of managing it silently in a room by yourself. None of these moments feel dramatic. That is exactly why they work. Healing this particular wound rarely looks like a breakthrough. It looks like 100 quiet moments of letting yourself be helped, one at a time, until your body finally believes it is allowed. You were not too much back then. You were simply someone whose needs met an environment that could not meet them. That is not a life sentence. That is a starting point. So if you recognized yourself somewhere in this video, say it plainly in the comments, even just one word. Because naming it out loud is often the very first version of the comfort you never got. And tonight, if no one else says it to you, let this be the one place that does. What happened to you made sense. What you feel now makes sense. And you are allowed, finally, to stop carrying it alone.